main thing I want this podcast to be about, okay, is about us being friends, all right? And we fucking love guns.
Hey, we're good.
All right. Welcome to the 2A Brotherhood podcast.
Welcome.
Rob, what's the quote of the day, man?
The quote of the day is, I'm so unlucky if it was raining pussies, I would get hit with a dick.
I love the tactical pause in between the joke and the punchline.
Hey, Rob, if I didn't know you any better, that sounded like a lucky day to me for you.
Right? You would stand outside with your mouth open, right, Austin? He said, I'm the lucky one.
No, my luck, I get hit with all the pussy.
Aren't you a married man? All right, go ahead and introduce. Go ahead.
Yeah, so we have a special guest on today. Lee, introduce yourself.
I'm Lee Novotny. A lot of guys might know me as Trash Fire Actual. That was the last kind of project. That's my little call sign. I do LARPing videos and educational videos and stuff like that on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram and all that.
All right.
Nice.
What the heck's going
If
on?
you guys,
He's invisible.
if anybody
Right.
saw the clip that we put on TikTok, the little trailer, we had a couple clips from his TikTok channel that were used.
Yeah,
But
and we
here's
got
his channel.
banned.
If you guys want to follow, here's the TikTok channel. Oh, can you see it? There you go.
Oh,
Hunter's Trash.
that's my personal channel. That's just that's for me. I'm the editor for the Gorillas Guide. There should be a link there.
Oh yeah, I see.
Yeah, that's kind of like the main project right now.
Yeah. Lee, can you refresh your camera?
The Gorillas Guide. I'll go
There
ahead and
we
share
go.
that. I'll post that in that'll be in the description in the chat as well.
Yeah.
So let me go do that.
So you live out in Oregon, and in all your videos, you're out in the mountains somewhere.
Yeah. We do a lot of our stuff out in the mountains. The majority of it, we do mostly like flat range is like an individual task, like getting your reload straight, getting your biomechanics, and getting good shots and getting good fundamentals set up. But we try to go out in the mountain and see if the gear actually works. Dropping a little bit of educational stuff. I know a lot of guys really into LARPing, like building a team, building a tribe. There's groups out there, but we kind of try to make it without it being as inclusive as possible to people, like not having to be like super hardcore crazy or like into any ideals, just coming out and training, sweat a little bit, do some drills, drink some beers, have fun with the boys.
Damn.
Sounds like a good
Sounds like a
time.
great
Seriously,
damn
yeah.
GG beat me to the punch.
You guys, does it ever get really cold up there? You end up having you touch a bit on like cold weather training and stuff.
Yeah. So during the winter, anything above really like 4,000 feet, it's pretty much gonna have snow on it till spring. Once you get to about like 7,000 feet, it might even have snow on it till late spring. The higher mountains, like 10,000 feet, sometimes they can have snow on them all summer. We only got a couple of those though.
Sounds like a hoot. Do they have I gotta know for sure. Is the Sasquatch in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah.
I can't see your face, so I can't tell if you're being sarcastic.
Yeah, the
Oh, you
camera.
guys can't see me?
Yeah,
No,
I don't know.
The camera.
For me,
froze.
it's on the top row. 2-3 of the cameras are glitching out between like
Let's see.
3 of the hosts.
Yeah, it sounds like we're gonna have one. See, I jinxed it. I'm sorry, everybody.
It's okay.
Mhm. Told you you were.
Warren Dimitri.
Yeah.
If you need to, you can always refresh, and you can come right back anytime you need to. But yeah. So you heard
Well,
it
looks
here
like-
first. Sasquatch is real.
Is it
Yeah.
too furry, bro?
Yeah, they make fun of me. They poke fun of me, but Austin and I know the truth.
Yeah. I was about to say, I've never made fun of you. I went on hunts with you before.
I remember you was telling me all you gotta do, to see Sasquatches, hit some crystal meth. Gotta
Who told you
track
that,
them,
Lyle?
right?
Crystal meth attracts Sasquatch. Yeah.
Oh man.
Well, this video looks pretty interesting. Yeah. They have a video on their on the YouTube channel, the Gorilla Guide, and it's drone warfare, shotgun versus drone.
Oh, play it.
That's a felony, right?
Yeah. So to shoot an actual drone down in flight, even if it's yours and you own it, that is the same crime as shooting an airplane down with a firearm. So
Jeez.
definitely do
really?
not do that.
Did you
Don't
guys
even
find that out?
practice.
Don't
Did
even
you guys
play.
find that out
Plays
the
as
hard
an
way?
analog, so that we weren't committing a felony or anything.
Did you guys find that out the hard way?
Well, just researching it, I just googled
Did
can you shoot
FFA,
drone
FAA?
down? And
You do that?
they said no.
Then you had 3 hots in a cot, right?
I actually saw a video of the war of like Russia Ukraine, to where apparently, I don't know how true this is, but apparently Russia has come out with like an attack drone that attacks
Yes.
drones that are flying. Like it's a drone to attack drones, and they launch
So
it from like a gun.
realistically, like we were thinking about obviously we can't purposely crash 2 drones into each other because that is also an
Okay.
FFA violation to purposely cause a mid-air
Oh.
collision with 2 aircraft. But that's kind of, for me, my thought process is that's probably the cheapest and easiest way for a counter drone measure. Shotguns really aren't that great for counter drone. Like it's mostly like a right place, right time kind of thing.
hmm
We thought about, maybe testing some other theories. Like you can get number 4 buckshot, like 22 caliber projectiles roughly. And you can get 3.5-inch mags of those. And that's 30 projectiles per shot, which should carry more energy. So they have like a higher altitude they could hit up to, but maybe, I don't know with the buckshot stuff, but
Yeah.
there's also specialty ammo that I don't really think is with like wire nets and stuff. I don't know, because they're
Yeah.
dropping their ordnance at around 100 meters. So, that's a tough shot. Maybe with the absolute right shotgun and a good ammo selection. But I don't think shotguns are worth a shit for counter drone, to be honest.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, the drone stuff is actually really good because, I mean, if you look at where we're at in the world today, I mean, both of the big wars going on with Israel and Hamas and Russia and Ukraine, both are using drones. I mean, obviously, Russia, Ukraine is a lot more.
Forget about China.
But yeah. But I
Pretty
heard that Israel's been using a lot of like drones to like scout buildings.
Well,
so-
Hamas
Yeah,
just
and-
said ceasefire
Yeah.
Yeah.
day after
you're
Trump
right now.
got put
You're
in.
seeing the rudimentary
Right.
kind of start of drone
And
warfare.
hmm
and that's going to move into drone swarms. It's starting right now in the U.S. and Russia, China. Pretty much anybody could get a hold of that technology if that's what they're wanting to do. But you can send. FLIR just got done making a system that can track 100 targets at once because of the drone swarm technique, and I think you're going to see that used a lot more in the future.
Yeah.
That was what they used for the Israel-Hamas thing. That they took out a lot of Israeli soldiers with that. It's kind of overwhelming, especially for ground troops right now. It doesn't really matter if you have like, you know, a counter drone to like smash into other drones, a shotgun, even one of those ray guns. Those swarms are they're pretty gnarly.
Yeah.
When you're saying swarms, it's just a bunch of them. Do they have like guns on them or something? Like, are they shooting you?
Usually it's a small amount of explosives, just because like those drones are typically smaller, so their payload is a lot less. But it's roughly the size of like a large hand grenade, like 2 hand grenades worth of like Petin or whatever that they're loaded with, depending if they're like an actual munition drone or if they're like HME improvised.
Yeah. Now, are they coming out with any way to like block that? You know, like block the signal from the controller to the drone?
So you're still dealing with basically the same counter. I don't know if any of you guys were in the service back in the GWAT days, but
I have the metal
systems like the Duke and the Juke and Red and Green, which are essentially like counter signal warfare, but it was direct signals for IEDs based on like frequencies that were common with them, like garage door openers, cell phones, blah blah blah.
Like those Duke antennas.
Yeah, Dukes, Jukes, Red and Greens. Red and Greens were kind of the start, and then they were Dukes and Jukes, depending. But those draw like an incredible amount of amperage to put out basically like a 75-meter bubble, which can be, it can, you know, like if someone's flying an FPV drone and they lose signal like 75 meters out, that's not necessarily like a guaranteed hit for them, but it's a lot, you know, if you're talking about like overhead ordnance drones, it doesn't really make a difference for that kind of stuff. The swarms are mostly FPV, like payload drone, like suicide kamikaze drones.
Yeah.
But the cruise stuff, it's of limited use, just because how radio waves work. If you're putting out a bubble of radio waves, it takes like an incredible amount of amperage versus like more of a directed focus. But if you do a directed focus, it doesn't necessarily guarantee you a hit, you know?
Yeah.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's kind of getting gnarly nowadays with like drones and stuff, and it's just going to get gnarlier. So
I'm sure in the next couple of years they're going to find out a way to really end that, and to really kind of take that out of the equation. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right now it's just detection systems. There's like shotguns, the drones. Your biggest is terrain denial, like enemy terrain denial. Someone flying, if it's not someone at like Nellis flying a Globehawk and it's just like a smaller drone, they can only control those from like certain distances. So like basically keeping on the move and assaulting is really the only play in the playbook that works, and even then it's not great.
Yeah.
What about EMP?
What's that? EMP? Yeah, those would work. The problem with EMPs is like
take out everything.
Yeah, it works against you as well. They're kind of indiscriminate, you know, and everybody works off of electronic devices now. Even, you know, everything's Garmin's. Nobody really uses analog maps and compasses anymore. It's Blue Force Tracker and Garmin.
Yeah.
Dude.
That could be a last-ditch effort.
BFTs. The I saw, what was that? There was like a video where some infantry battalion, or like not even infantry, it was something else. They were forcing all the soldiers to use analog equipment because they were like, well, your dagger is gonna fail, your BFT, everything could just fail in the field. So I mean, they never let them use any of that stuff. They always forced them to use compasses and map protractor.
It makes me think. Have you guys ever seen the movie Red Dawn? I'm not talking the 1984 one, the newer one that came out in 2012.
I think so.
No.
Yeah, it's well, for you didn't. It's basically North Korea invades America. Like they wake up one day and there's a bunch of parachutes that come down, and it just they take out. I think it was some town in Washington where it's based out of or something like that. And they were blocking everyone's signal, like power outages. Everyone's signal was out, but they had some device that allowed them to communicate. I kind of can see that coming to fruition, to where it's like an EMP, but blocks everything out, but only you're allowed to communicate with this box.
Yeah, but the EMP, I don't know. EMP usually takes care of every.
That's what he was saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I know they make like
pretty
EMP bags for shit. Like you could put your devices in.
The Faraday cage.
Yeah, Faraday.
I know they make those, but you kind of have to know it's coming, unless you're just gonna constantly have it in there.
Yeah, just like
I think that so it would be the for the purpose of preventing the enemy or whoever from communicating while still allowing you to communicate. I just don't know. Well, I mean, everybody knows Morse code.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean,
SOS. You guys know how to do SOS in Morse code?
no, but you're going to tell us, right?
No, I'm just saying that's the basic that everyone should know how to do is SOS in Morse code.
How do you do that?
Austin.
Let me look it up.
Three short, three long, three short.
Yeah, I was about to say it's 3 short, 3 long, 3 short. So bump, 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 bump.
They said long, short, long, or short, long.
Oh yeah, long, short, long. Then
is that what it is?
might be.
It's
So what's short, long, short?
It's short. No, it is short, long, short.
Send the pussy.
It is.
It is short. It is short, long, short.
It is.
Okay.
Sauce.
Can you do that with a gun? Like, pow, 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 pow.
So long, short, long would be OSO.
Also. So.
Which, I mean, I guess if you're doing it repeatedly, it still kind of works in a sense.
Yeah, it'll loop itself if you just keep doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A while back, there was like this helicopter, this news helicopter flying over this natural like forest, or what do they call it? A wildlife preserve. I don't know, something. And anyway, there was I think they had some sort of like accident there, supposedly, but a couple had wrote "send nudes, please," so the helicopter could see it from the air, and it was on live television.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so funny. But yeah, so did you guys see so apparently at Trump's at the acceptance speech, there was a woman there dressed in the yellow coat, like from the original like Woman Screaming when Trump first won in 2016.
No, let me see it.
Look at this show.
Oh, I remember.
Now President of the United States.
He died the middle
Great
inside.
honor to be able to introduce for the first time ever anywhere the 45th President of the United States of America, Donald.
The dumb bitch runs deep within her.
So you get the point. And here's somebody dressed up at the Trump rally as this woman, except that they were pro.
Hell yeah, brother.
Dude, that's so awesome. Yeah,
So
man.
they was not expecting Trump to get in there at all, man. It's like
I
they
don't know
knew they
why.
had it, man. They knew they had it.
Everyone who was crying on Twitter or X and TikTok were saying, "Oh, we were so close. Oh, we were so close." I'm like, did you see?
A landslide.
Have you seen that that women are dressing up as handmaids from The Handmaid's Tale?
No.
So you guys,
I keep
all
hearing
I've
that.
seen is a bunch of people crying on the internet.
so you guys know what The Handmaid's Tale is?
No.
No, I think
So-
Lee
Hearing women
dropped
talking
out.
about it.
By the way, guys,
What's up?
yeah, Lee dropped out.
Oh
I
shoot!
think his internet is dropped out on us.
He still got the link, so we're
Hopefully
good.
he'll
We
get back
can
Yeah.
continue talking about Handmade.
So
Yeah,
The
with The
Handmaid's
Handmaid.
Tale. So all I know is like bits and pieces of it because I've only seen a couple episodes. But from what I gather, it's basically women that are fertile. They take these women that are fertile and then turn them into what's called handmaids. And each family, that's part of the system gets a handmaid. And for your wife that's infertile, you have this woman that is fertile that you sleep with to conceive a child with.
Mhm.
And then you take that child and raise it as with your wife. But they're basically just like sex slaves.
What's
Like
wrong with
breeding-
that?
Well, do they get paid?
No,
It's like a surrogate.
Oh, that would be a
Yeah.
hooker, Dimitri.
no, but they're like they don't get paid. It's
You don't
just
want to get a hooker pregnant, Rob.
Huh?
I say you don't want to get a hooker pregnant.
they're basically like sex slaves, but more like
Nice.
baby farm slaves. So all these women are saying that
Is
because
that
Trump
Brawley?
won.
Are they clean?
So basically, because Trump won, all these women are saying the world's going to turn into Handmaid's Tale.
Oh,
Because-
you talking about that movie or that show or whatever
Yeah.
on Hulu?
Yeah,
Oh, got you.
yeah.
Yeah,
So all these
yeah.
women
Oh,
are
makes
saying
it-
that these
Dude.
women are saying that the world's going to turn into a real life Handmaid's Tale, and so they're dressing up as handmaids to protest.
And listen, and I bet nobody wants to fuck her.
Dude, oh my gosh, listen to this, man.
So hold on,
Yeah,
real
yeah.
quick. There was this one video in particular that I saw. It was a black lady crying
Mhm.
on
I know what
TikTok.
you're talking about, yeah.
In her
and
car,
she-
right?
I think so.
She's in her
and
car. Like,
she-
Why?
Yeah, she was like, "I'm going back to the plantation, y'all."
Yeah.
It's like,
Oh
what?
my God.
Dude, I've seen so many videos where it's women are like, we can't, or as women, we can't have sex with men for the next 4 years in protest.
Yes,
And it's like,
I saw that one.
so it took Donald Trump getting in office for you to stop being a fucking whore.
Right?
Yeah.
Thank you, Trump.
I'm
He's
wrong.
fixing the world.
Bro.
His
So
hair look crazy.
yeah,
What's this?
remember he went to the he's like you go to the barber shop and the barber asked what you want. He was like, yeah, just F my up. Just F it all up. Anyway, here's the clip of that lady in her car screaming at the top of her lungs.
But those reactions openly sharing their distress on social media.
Shout out Sky News.
I'm sorry. No. Why?
You got a big ass mouth.
Why? Do you really hate me that bad?
What the? Yeah, dude.
What the hell?
This is called the liberal meltdown, everybody.
Can someone
Even she's laughing at him.
He's like, bro, can someone
No. What's funny is everyone's saying this is the end of democracy, right? But yet,
The Republic.
well, they're saying
Thank
it's
you.
the end of democracy, right? But they're sitting here
We're a republic.
freaking out because the person who was voted in as president is going to be president, and they're fucking crying over the fact that they lost. But because Trump's in, it's the end of democracy.
Nah, Kamala wanted to
it's-
stop
it's-
democracy.
It's basic fascism, dude. I'm right, you're wrong. You have to believe what I believe, or else you're the fucking filth of the earth.
Pantsuit fascism.
It's basic fascism. Yeah,
Oh shit, Lee's back.
Dude, I was
Yeah,
just
yeah,
about to
I
email
had
you
to
too.
verify my account. It was glitching out on me, and now everything looks straight. If it's
Yeah.
you guys end.
Yeah, it looks good on
Clear.
mine.
Yeah, done.
Crystal.
Yeah.
Sweet.
But yeah, that's the thing I always find the funniest is that like Antifa, right, is anti-fascist, but yet it's fucking fascism. What they do is
Yeah.
fucking fascism.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
but
Yo, I don't understand why they running around with masks on like bitches. They supposed to be against, all this shit and everything, but they running around with masks like bitches. For your face. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
They were
to get back to where we were about the gun stuff and the drones, because I know you say you don't really do politics too much. So I actually was watching this one dude who did an interview between it was Israeli soldiers. He also did one with Ukrainian soldiers, and they were talking about that drone warfare stuff and like how their tactics are. I don't know if you've seen it, but how their tactics are with when drones are above, like what they do to kind of counteract that.
Shit themselves.
All this shit I seen, they fucking hide.
Some of them I heard have like thermals on them, so it's like you can't just hide.
Yeah, I know.
Dude.
I saw a video of a Ukrainian
And then
soldier.
they drop the bomb on top of them.
Yeah.
Bro. Did you see him? You could see it blew his chest open. You could see his heart still beating.
Oof.
Dude,
Yeah.
you didn't see that, Dimitri?
No.
Oh,
But I don't know
man.
if you could play that on YouTube.
I can't because we're on YouTube also.
I
So-
seen one where a man got hit with one of them, and his leg was on fire. He was trying to put it out, and it turned over. You could see his spine. Like,
Jeez.
I'm like, you got a bigger problem than your leg on fire, man.
So when
Like-
you do like the LARPing, right, with the drones, like how does that work? Is you said you had a team, so is there like someone else that gets involved, or is it like one person accidentally dies and then now they're the drone operator, you have to kill off one person to become the drone operator?
It all depends on like kind of what we're doing. Normally stuff kind of revolves around one or so premises just because of like the process of like content production. It takes a long I don't know if you guys probably understand this, but it usually takes like 5 hours of content, maybe a little bit less, maybe like 2 if everything goes right, to clip together like a 10-minute video.
Mm-hmm.
So usually when we go out, we kind of treat it like the National Guard, like once a month, and then we tried to drill down on a couple things while we're there, but usually there's like our standard everyday lifts, right? Like we try to get a little sweat on, we try to get a little shooting competition, get us warmed up and everything. But like we'll do an exercise of, okay, I do a lot of the backside, especially now. That's why you guys haven't seen me in a lot of the Guerrillas Guide videos lately. But essentially, I'll like cock targets in a spot where the guys don't know, and it's like, hey, let's get you finding the spot. Usually we use like analog, but sometimes we use like Onyx and shit. And then like Pops, my dad gets involved too. It's a pretty good family thing.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll have Pops drive the drone while the dudes are going through the bush trying to find the targets and see if they can evade, being spotted by it's a higher end drone.
Oh hell yeah! So
That's cool.
we were speaking also about like EMPs and stuff like that, right? Have you ever trained? Because I know a lot of guys do this when like they start working in like teams and stuff. They practice doing communication with like glow sticks or trail tape.
Wigwags.
So comms for us, like it's not like it's kind of tough to get everybody on the same sheet of music for comms.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, for the most part, like we obviously have like Baofangs and stuff, but those are illegal to use. So we don't do any content revolving that, and we don't use those like radios. You know, we just listen to them. You know what I mean? But we mostly typically focus on like voice commands.
Mm-hmm.
Try not to use glow sticks. Glow sticks at night under nods are, 300-meter sight line, pretty much, maybe even farther, depending on like how good the nods are. But we try to maintain a good bit of light discipline at night.
Yeah.
Other than like, if you see any of the stuff, like we use a Psionics Aurora or Opsin, sorry, the better one. And those will be our straight night footage, but sometimes if we're using regular cameras, we'll obviously break that light discipline so that people can see what we're doing, but then we run it live like we'd actually run it.
Yeah. What about, like I said, like trail tape, you know? Because like I said, I've heard a lot about people using these deals to communicate in an event that comms go out, radios are trash, and you need a way to communicate with your team. Have you ever tried something like that?
No. So like we go out to these spots a lot, and we know them really well. So it's not really like we don't need to indicate like where the front is or anything like that. Those are good ideas. Like if you're talking like conventional force on force, like having engineer tape even up on trees and stuff to notify dudes like, hey, you're getting close to the front. That's usually a pretty good idea. Nonverbal communications are great, but yeah, we try to not leave any trace or anything like that of what we're out doing, trying to keep the forest clean and stuff. And also, I don't want other people to see my spots. Like if they're out there under nods, like I don't want them to, find my spot. I kind of keep those a little hidden.
I gotcha. So do you
what's
guys
nods?
actually
Huh?
Night vision.
What's nods? The night vision?
Night vision goggles, yeah.
Yeah. So do you guys actually get I haven't seen your videos. Do you guys actually get a chance to do like real live fire out there? Like real live fire training?
Yeah, we always do live fire. Everything's live fire that we do.
Okay.
It looks like mad fun, dude. It's like they're all his videos. He's out in the woods, and they're shooting steel targets. You can't even see them.
Yeah, Steel's great. Steel's a great training device. It gives you instant feedback. Obviously, real life isn't quite as much instant feedback as Steel, but it's good for a training device. And it lets it gives the viewer something to hear, like, oh, they are making hits.
Yeah. Dude, I was in Bass Pro. I was in South Carolina the other week, right? And I had, from the time I check out from my hotel to the time I flight, I had a good few hours to kill. And so I decided to go in Bass Pro. And I'd seen steel targets before, even shot at them, but it's been a while since I actually like picked one up and held them. And they had this massive one. It was huge. And this thing was like heavier than a 45-pound plate, it was. I was like, dang, this thing is big.
We use 3/8" C zones. So most of the time C zones, just because those ones weigh about like 25 pounds a piece, maybe a little bit more. I don't know, but they get quite burdensome to carry, especially when you're doing like elevation changes. You're walking them in, you're walking them out, up and down a mountain. So
that's part of that sweating part, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's good for you, right? Like if you're out in nature, just walking around with a little bit of extra weight on, going up and down the side, you just, I know it's basic. It's not like some super special forces ranger shit, but that's not what we are. We're just regular dudes having fun as a hobby. So, any work's good work rather than just being lazy on a Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
I don't mean to cut you off. Is that a chicken behind you?
Yeah, there's 3. I'm in my shop right now, but I have a girlfriend and daughters and stuff. So they're in there, it's Friday night. They're fucking clucking and everywhere I go, I got chickens clucking.
Okay.
But yeah, it's my little shop.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah, brother.
They're just in here for the winter. Usually they're outside chickens, but they have room to go out,
Yeah.
But it just gets really cold, so.
How cold is it out there right now?
It's probably like 34 or something.
Josh doesn't know what that feels like anymore.
Wait a minute.
He's in Texas.
Negative
Come down to
50 degrees.
Come back to
When I
Baltimore,
was-
Josh.
When I was up in New York.
Yeah, I'm talking about now. You don't know what that feels like now.
I forgot you was in what's the name, Josh?
Yeah, you're in Buffalo, right?
Yeah.
It was in Watertown, next to the border. So
That's
yeah,
close to
dude.
Buffalo, isn't it?
No, it's like 2 hours away from Buffalo.
It's because of Joe's out there.
It's
The what?
closer to Maryland.
It 10th Mountain.
Yeah, Ford Drum. Yeah.
Yeah, Watertown.
They so they have they opened up another school. I think they opened up 2. There was a jungle warfare training that they opened up. I assume it's kind of similar to like Ranger School. And there was one other school. I think it was Mountain Warfare. But they're like
Ranger School's leadership course, and basically it's you go through the first part is like physical fitness and stuff like that, but the rest of it is just like you set up a patrol base. You go from that patrol base to a target. You either get ambushed in between or you set up an ambush. Then they reset. You set up a patrol base. Someone else is the LT. It kind of shifts. The jungle school is mostly focused on what it takes to kind of operate in the jungle. It's kind of wild, honestly.
It's less like yeah. I mean, is it not like a leadership course? It's more.
No,
just
it's a technical course like air assault, where it's like they're teaching you how to do something.
Yeah.
There's still the function of you got to go through at the end for like the culmination exercise where it's like, they'll probably rotate people through leadership positions and give them a pass, no pass grade on like how they did as far as like, putting all that info they got to use with an operation in the jungle. But it's a technical school. Like mountain and jungle are pretty much just both. Well, Arctic or I don't know what it is now. If it's Arctic,
I mean, it's still. I assume it's still the same thing. They have one similar in the Vermont National Guard. They have their own like device that they wear. It's like a ram's head, I think, or something like that on their uniform. Yeah, it's like some sort of mountaineering school, but. You can only wear it if you're in the Vermont Guard. It's like you're not allowed to wear it anywhere else. So
that's sick,
dude. I've seen some of these videos, man. The terrain, dude. I mean, what's it?
I know it's gorgeous.
It looks amazing, yeah, dude.
You're a lucky motherfucker, man.
It sucks because like on my old account, I think I was close to like 50K, and I had a lot of videos on there that just got nuked.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's pretty dope. So that little spot, we call that the gully. We do a lot of footage from that little spot. It's one of my favorite in the whole world. I've been around a lot of places, but that little spot is pretty special to me.
Mm-hmm.
You ever just sit there and just listen and watch everything, man?
Dude, if you go on my page, my personal page, my first video, I think it's like I got some goofy ones on there.
Not one of the very first one on your porch.
The very lowest one at the bottom.
First video.
That was the one I took today of the. I put a primary arms on my Garand.
For some reason, I was saying I have a Mini 14.
No, that's an M1 Garand.
Yeah.
Dude, that's awesome.
I got it. I have it Tiger Stripe painted right now, and I'm probably gonna put a laser box and a white light on it, and
That is so sexy.
play around with
Right.
a couple of the.
That's the one that
that's
goes.
the
Ding!
1X, but I'll probably play around with the 3X and the 5X as well from Primary Arms.
Do you hunt?
Not really. Jody does. I used to hunt, but like I'm not like that successful or driven to be that successful. But like so down there, that's in the gully at the bottom on the stream. Like I was fucked up on mushrooms doing that. And we just get that's me and my brother. That's for one of it. Like, yeah, I'll get down there and I'll just chill, dude. We'll chill down there for hours and just get ripped up and drink some beers and we're
Eat some
Schwabing,
mushrooms.
so shooting.
That's
and,
awesome.
Yeah, shooting and doing a little bit of recreational stuff never hurt nobody as long as you're safe.
Yeah.
So just
I know
run
a
through.
lot of people don't get down like that, but just don't be like a fucking weirdo.
I couldn't
That's
put
how
it
we look
any
at
better,
it.
man.
Just don't point shit at people and don't get silly or like, hey, watch where I can, that kind of stuff. You start doing that, we won't hang out with you. But
Damn, that's the two things I like to do most. Point shit at people and get silly. That was a joke, by the
absolutely,
way.
dude.
Yes.
Is that the same one that you put the sight on?
No, so that's a Korean War Garen. The one I put the sign on because like I was doing this thing where I was like just talking shit for a while after I got banned. I was just posting cool, so I was like, spray painting your guns is lame, and like anybody who does it now is like a turd.
Mm.
And it was just a joke. I spray paint my guns sometimes too. Like I've been doing it for like over a decade, but everybody's like, spray paint your fucking guns. So that's actually a 6-digit early World War II Garand that I have the scope on the Prism scope on right now.
You handling that recoil like a champ.
Right?
Oh, thanks.
Dude, so nice.
Yeah, I'm debating. I'm getting a 3X sent to me, and I'm probably gonna go buy a 5X. But it's unreal. Like, first off, I didn't know those primary arms, the SLX micros. The 1X, the eye box on it is incredible. The clarity is incredible. It is pretty much just as fast as a red dot. I don't think there's really a discernible difference unless you're getting into some awkward shooting positions. And I've never had an M1 sights come up so fast, and I'm still enamored by that. And I don't know if I'll ruin it by going to a 3 or 5X. So that's the tubes I just got. I picked those up for $1,800. They are the Armasight N15. It is pretty much the same as the ATN and other ones, AGM or whatever. They're like 40-degree Gen 2 plus auto-gated non-articulating binos. I got those for $1,800, which is pretty wild. And that is the SMS laser box that I've been playing with. Those are $99 right now.
Are these
That's a lot better than what I thought for $99, man.
Are these binos? Or?
Yeah, those are binos. So the Armasight N15s are, and I believe the ATN PVS 15s are discontinued. And they're non-articulating binos, so they're not like super desirable. If you can find those, a lot of times, those in the Anvis 9s, you can find them anywhere between $1,800, $1,600 to like $3,500, $3,900, depending on like the quality of tube that's in them.
Yeah.
So you can, if you're looking for like something that's cheap, it's usually the Anvis 9s, the N15s, and then the PVS 15s for binos. the Anvis 9s don't articulate, but they slide like outward and inward based on like a screw mechanism. These are set. They are what they are. There's no adjustment for how like wide they sit or how close they sit.
Wow.
Yeah, so I mean for me they fit perfect, but they just they're not the most desirable unit. So you can save a lot of money and still have the same capabilities if you go like, you know, you can equate shit to cars sometimes. Like for me, it'd be like, you know, a lot of people didn't like the Ford Fairmonts when they came out and still for a long time, or the Ford Thunderbirds, but they're now being appreciated because the Fox Body Mustang price went so high. Those are desirable, whereas the Thunderbird's less desirable, but it's got all the same parts and arguably some better.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So you can get like higher grade tubes in those housing, like Gen 3s. They make Gen 3s and Gen 3 filmless in those housings, and those are ones you can usually get for like $3,500, and that's a pair of Gen 3 thin film binos for $3,500. Whereas if you go to like the R NVG 51s, those are around for Gen 2 plus with normal film. Those are around like $3,800. So for around the same price point, you can get the next generation of tube up, which to me matters more than your articulation and stuff like that.
So what does the better tubes in them do? Do they last longer, or is it clarity?
So tubes necessarily, you know, they can expire and stuff, but that doesn't mean they're useless. You can get expired tubes and stuff. Gen 2, so people have a misconception. Gen 1 night vision came out in like the 40s. Gen 2 came out in like the 50s and 60s. And Gen 3 came out in like the 70s. So all of those technologies have been around for a while. Gen 2 tubes are just cheaper to produce, whereas like Gen 3 tubes take more rare minerals and stuff like that, and the process to make them is more like technologically and machine demanding, labor demanding. So they're more expensive. What you get out of them is usually a higher FOM, which is an acronym. I can't remember what it stands for, but it essentially relates to how well they see in the dark and how high the definition is. Essentially, the Gen 3 tubes are like looking through cable TV, and Gen 2 and 2 Plus tubes are like looking through broadcast television, where there might be a slight bit of static. They call it noise, and it'll be, you can see it, that visual static. When it's too dark, lower FOM and older generation tubes with higher film will give you a more grainy image the darker it is. The Generation 3 tubes, the filmless and the thin film with, you know, high FOMs, those will offer like a very crystal clear picture, even in very dark conditions. And they don't need a lot of ambient light to produce, like, so if you had like a cheap, you know, a Holosun laser aiming module with like the laser based illuminator and laser IR designator, those under Gen 2 tubes seem really weak and really dim. Under Gen 3 tubes, those are actually a lot nicer and crisper. But that's usually just because the Gen 3s require a lot less ambient light to work, and they're a lot more clear in their definition.
Gotcha.
What are those?
Like
the
insanely
FOM.
You're good.
The FOM stands for figure of merit.
Yeah, figure of merit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you
I
ever
was gonna say
used?
something dumb, so I just didn't want to say.
That's why we got Google, man.
Right. Have you ever used those articulating panoramic night vision goggles? It looks like there's 4 lenses or 4 tubes or whatever.
Yeah.
What are they like?
Use Panos, quads, Panos.
They look like they're from the future.
They're not great for everything. but they're pretty, like, if you're gonna do like CQB, Panos are really great. Really, you start like outside of CQB, you start getting a little bit like diminishing returns, right? Like for driving, you don't necessarily need them because you can basically tunnel into your tubes, your two front tubes, and you don't necessarily need that peripheral information. It's nice; it gives you a little bit more spatial awareness, but they also drain batteries twice as fast, right? It's twice as many as binos. But for CQB, they're kind of unmatched. It gives you that corner vision. It is really nice, but they're heavy and they eat through batteries pretty fast.
So it's just basically a bigger field of view that you have with these? Okay.
Yeah, it turns it into like circular widescreen. You get 4 3/4
like
circles. So it's pretty nice, but again, like you're essentially wearing 4 PVS 14s on your head. Like, not really. They're a lot lighter than that, but like you could imagine putting 4 PVS 14s on like the front of your helmet. It gets a little wild, but you know, sometimes that increased field of view is actually worth it.
Wow, man. So what does a pair like that usually run for? These Panos?
Pair of quads, it depends, because like, so the night vision industry is kind of like went through a huge boom, right? Like, especially in conjunction with 3D printing. So at first it was like dudes getting mil-spec housings and putting like commercial tubes in them. L3 Harris tubes are like insanely expensive, but there's Photonis, there's Omni, there's a bunch of different brands that make intensifier tubes. And a lot of them are a lot cheaper than like L3 Harris and an L3 Harris housing. So like dudes have taken 3D printings and made molds for injection molding out of those. It started out, dudes were just 3D printing housings and making them better and better. And they kept selling out like the PVS 69s and stuff. But nowadays they have companies, you know, there's Panos out there for like 10 grand, 12 grand.
Jeez.
The L3 Harris ones are like 40 grand. But like you can get a pair of quad nods or Panos for like, you know, depending on the tube quality, because again, they can take that housing and they can put like really shitty tubes in there that are blemmed up and expired, and you could essentially build yourself one of those for like $7,500.
Darn. So them building with the housing with the 3D printer and then just getting the tubes.
No, you could just buy the housing. You just buy the housing off eBay with lenses or whatever, and then get whatever tubes you want and put them in there. Like, you got to do like 2 wires of soldering per tube. But like they're relatively like easy to put together yourself. Like, they're not that complicated. Really, there's like a PCB that controls like, you know, on modern nods without manual gain, with automatic gain and auto gating, there's like 3 functions: on, off, IR, on. So the PCB is really tiny, and you just have to like solder in the 2 wires that the tube come with, and then you put that all in the housing and you purge it. Like, it's a lot like a scope, but like less technical even. Just, you're not stacking like 20 lenses. It's just 2 lenses and a tube in the middle.
Yeah.
And like 4 screws. So you can get like a PVS housing for like $700, $600, depending. Like, you could get a deal on one that's salty for like $500 maybe with lenses. And then you can get a beater tube for like $600 and throw it in there, 2 wires, 4 screws, and now you have a night vision monocular for less than $1,500 that you could probably flip for like $1,500-$1,600 depending on how fucked the tube is.
What do you mean by salty tube?
Salty usually means like it's just been battle worn, it's just been worn out through LARPing and stuff like that. And then tube being the intensifier tube, like kind of the heart of the machine. It takes photons, converts it to electrons, and then reconverts it to photons at an intensified rate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, every time you say LARPing, dude, I imagine you in a night suit and a shield and a fucking sword, man.
A medieval warrior. That's where I first heard LARPing is associated with that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But
yeah, well, my little brother does that, funny enough. But yeah, there's I mean, it got turned into a term that was like kind of a neg, right? Like it's like a slam, like and it's just kind of like stuck. Like fuck it, yeah, we are LARPing.
Yeah,
we might as well be out there in night suits with swords.
Do you
goofy.
think
It's fun though. That's the thing. Like
it is, yeah.
Do you
like
think
we've been doing it? I have like 4 brothers, so we've been doing this since we were kids. Like we lived out on the side of a mountain, and our parents would just kick us out all day with like 22s and shit. We'd dress up like army men and shoot stuff.
Sounds like a good
That's right.
childhood.
Yeah, man.
Do you think
thermals?
thermals
It's
is
like
better
that
than
childhood sense of like awesomeness, where it's like monster trucks are rad. Like Nickelback is good.
I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah, sure, it's cringe or whatever, but like, who gives a fuck? Like, it's rad as fuck, dude. Kid Rock is awesome.
He's looking old as shit now.
I know you got something to say, Austin.
Whiskey.
Look at this photograph.
Do you think thermals is better than night vision, or which one would you say is better?
So, I love thermal. I started bridge, like my first experiment really with like handheld thermal units. Well, I guess before that, when I was in the service, we got issued machine gunners. We got issued thermal devices that were really high tech for back then.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. When I got out and when I got done contracting, I put together PVS 14 on one side, and then back then the RH19 was like the best Chinese thermal you could get, and I bridged those together. And there were some faults to it, but I really loved it. And you know, there were a lot of naysayers, but now people are coming around. So right now, if I could recommend an OP night vision setup, it would be a PVS 14 monocular, like a Gen 3 auto-gated thin film. They're great. PVS 14s are fucking great. If you can get it in white phosphorus, even that much better. And then an RH25 V2 would be the other bridge. And the nice thing about those is you can take them off of your bridge, and they have attachments now where you can slap it onto your gun with a flip to side mount. So now you have aiming with thermal, which is OP.
That
like
sounds cool.
if you're to be like, okay, well, I have one thing to spend money on, like whether it's a thermal or night vision, I can't buy both. I would say buying a RH25 is the move. Like you can walk out in the woods with your eyes. You don't necessarily need night vision to move around in the woods, but you can scan with the thermal, which is OP. Like a thermal clip-on is absolutely OP during the night. It's ever since I was a kid, and they issued us those optics for the 240s, they're insanely OP. The Bradleys, stuff like that, like thermal has, especially during the night. Like during the day, there's some issues with thermal. It's still usable, unlike night vision during the day. But at night, now with the 640 processors, like, and it's only going to get better from here. And digital night vision is probably going to take over as well. But like for right now, thermal, like an RH25 V2 is going to be like the most OP add-on to your rifle / helmet that you can get.
On my way out of active duty, we got these the PSQ20s, which have like the outline thermal.
Yeah.
And they do like red hot thermal. Dude, it's really cool, man. It was like some next level. And it had night vision. It was like all in one kind of thing.
Yeah, for civilians, if you already have your own tubes, they make things like E-Codes, and then there's other ones that are similar to that, but they're essentially just a clip on to the external housing.
Here's, I just saw a video. I'll show you guys so you can see kind of what it looked like right here. Okay, so it had like the black and white hot, and then this thing where like you know, your heat signatures are outlined or they're just like glowing red. It was kind of cool, man. I mean, it's really cool. So yeah, that's basically it.
$100,000.
Yeah, look up E-Cody, E-C-O-T-I.
E-C-O-T-I. Thermal.
Oh, wow.
Dude, I kind of like the way that looks better. It seems like it would be a little bit easier on your eyes at night. You know, with the glowing that greenish color. You know,
they have ones that like dilate like pupils, right?
That's the one that H had, remember?
Yeah.
So you guys got did you guys do Nightfire?
No, we didn't. It was only during the day.
Patrol mode.
Yeah,
Dude, that's
patrol
so
mode's probably one of the best modes. Some of the other modes give a little bit too much information.
Yeah, that outline mode looks like it's picking up everything. Like even if it's like just slightly warmer.
What are those?
There's those are relatively inexpensive, but there's also another less expensive, like Chinese one. Chinese are also making tubes now, so you know they're not the greatest, but they're cheap for brand new tubes.
You said Temu.
Tubes from Temu?
Dude, straight up. I mean, a lot of the stuff I get and use is like Chinese made. You know, I'm not like a broke dude or anything like that. I got a pretty nice house and I got some property, but I just, you know, spending like already thousands of dollars in the gun hobby, like I try to cut as many corners that I can get away with. And a lot of times that makes for at least, well, it used to make, now we're, you know, not really doing reviews on stuff, but I used to just beat the shit out of cheap stuff and see if it lasted. And I mean, it got a pretty good amount of attention just because, like, you know, we all see those ads for like Temu and like, you know, it's like, what if?
Well, there was a guy on TikTok. His name was Temu Tactical. Yeah. So what he would do, dude. So what he would do is he would buy tactical gear from Temu and do reviews on it and just beat the shit out of them and see how long they would last. And he would say like, hey, like I beat the shit out of this thing for 2 weeks and it broke. I don't recommend it, or I beat the shit out of this thing and it's still working. But yeah, he had a bunch of followers, but I think he got banned.
Oh man, I was about to look him up. Maybe see if he's still there.
You could try. Maybe he has like Temu Tactical 2.0.
Yeah, they ban hammer a lot of dudes, but it's like I've never bought anything off Temu. I got Amazon stuff, and then a lot of people sent me stuff. Like China Bros were the bros that were willing to work with me, and then us, obviously. I mean, like I've been sponsored by like U.S. Duty Gear and Warhorse Ordnance. Shout out! Sorry, I forgot to plug them earlier, but I'm mostly like flow with them. I'm not on the pro staff. I don't sign contracts. They just send me stuff for testing.
Yeah, but, we just ordered our belts from them.
Oh, they're great. They're great. I love Seth. Ryan, I think Southern Bro. great dudes. They make great products. We've been using their belts, and we've been using U.S. Duty Gear holsters for years now. They're just as good as Safariland. They really are, though. They're so U.S. Duty Gear is an alternate issue. LAPD uses them. It's the exact same holster, basically, as Safariland. It's just a different brand.
Mm-hmm.
The government has to they can't just buy one thing from one supplier, so they have to kind of spread it out. You know what I mean? So you could potentially be issued a U.S. Duty Gear 320 holster in the Army. But
yeah, we ordered the Warhorse Ordnance belts, and then we got what was the name of the company?
Anchor Point.
Yeah, Anchor Point. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I've never used those. I've hit the dude up. He just lives up the fucking road from me, and he never hit me back, dude.
Wow.
I've hit him up in lives, and he ghosted. I'm you motherfucker, dude. I'm offering to let you come out with us and shit, but I don't know. I guess sometimes people could have negative connotations about other people. I really don't give a shit. He's making holsters out of a fucking garage, so it's not it bums me out.
Yeah, we have him coming on the Friday after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, sick. Ask him why he's got static. No, I'm joking.
Well,
no,
if you want,
really good, dude,
you can come on too.
He does really great.
Yeah, if you want, you can come on as well.
Yeah.
Ask him yourself.
No, I don't
just
want to impress him or anything. I've tried to extend a couple offers, hey, dude, come out with us, check your shit out. Plug your shit on our shit. And he just was man. It's all right, dude, that's cool. Some dudes don't want to do that. I guess he's mostly probably into competition stuff rather than trying to make LARP kit.
But
yeah, that's what Eric and Josh were talking about, that they were working with Anchor Point for their competition holsters and mag holders and all that stuff.
Maybe if you talk to him, you might make him want to broaden his horizons, man.
Well, I mean, that's his business model. It's none of my business. But yeah, the LARP stuff is obviously, and a lot of stuff is going away from the flat range, bro down, super operator flat range stuff, and people like going out in the woods when they can, and it's good content. And a lot of people have LARP gear over competition gear. More people will buy a plate carrier than they will buy a competition rig and go to IPSC or USPCA or whatever 3-gun. I mean, I shot competition most of my life. I just kind of got burnt out on it. There's really no to Jerry Mikulik. You guys all know who that is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so as a competition shooter, that's the pinnacle that you could get to, and Jerry owned a concrete company. It's probably still running right now, and his kids run it. But Jerry had a full-time job his entire life. He's been hooked up and given a lot of money and royalties for certain things. But that's the best you could ask for is your hobby pays for itself at a certain point. After you've dumped tens of thousands of dollars into it, and you're still gonna have to have a day job. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the dudes that are grandmasters and top of the line, they're just fucking welders and EMT drivers, but they get really competitive about shit. They're NASCAR is gonna come pick them up and change their whole life. And it's I'm a pretty laid back guy, and when I have hobbies, I like to have fun at my hobbies. I'm not trying to have dudes being pricks, and being hyper competitive.
Mm-hmm.
It was a lot more fun when it was a lot less towards the top, and you're just kicking it with some dude that's a dentist and shit, and it's oh, crazy, this is what I run. But then you get into the bros at the top end, and you start shooting in first squad, and all those dudes are kind of assholes, and they're trying to be assholes to you, and they're naturally competitive with you. You go to the top of the competition pile, and the dudes are going to be naturally more competitive people, obviously. But You're not gonna become a millionaire shooting any sort of competition shooting. At best, it'll start paying. The hobby will start paying for itself after you dumped a bunch of money into it. So there's no point in being like a prick. It's just a hobby.
Gotcha.
That makes sense.
So like, what's the top prize? What's the top prizes at the competition shootings?
Well, it depends. So like at the Dallas 3-gun, I think the top prize is like, I don't know what it is like this year, but it used to be like $10,000 or some shit. And then like second and third place were like pretty good. Like they were like cash prize with like a gun. Regional 3-gun and regional stuff like that, like probably a gun, like either a middle of the road production gun, or like if it's a regional, maybe like a nicer, like an actual competition gun that you can cycle through. But like, I mean, there's a lot of dudes trying to win that same gun, and they're all pretty much just as good as you.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just, you're probably not going to win it is the thing. Like that's, you know, you got a 1 in 10 chance of winning that gun. And it depends on like, you know, the very minutia of what you're doing at that point. And it's just, doesn't make for, you know, not a lot of people win like a bunch of races in NASCAR. It's the same with competition shooting. You're lucky if you win like a good bit of competitions at like higher level.
Hey, Josh, do an ad.
I can't run any ads right now.
Oh, that's whack.
Yeah. Sorry. So I'll explain later.
No. So you're telling me we cannot become millionaires just from shooting competitions? But we might be able to get a lot of
the
guns.
Best in the world, and it's not going to happen. You're
Well,
lucky.
you get free
Like, so
guns.
if you built your whole thing around it and you make like classes, like maybe Ben Stoger does everything with just shooting, and he's full-time professional shooter. But I mean, like you kind of got to have like your own shop, like where you're actually selling stuff, which again is its own job. Now you're like a gun shop owner that shoots competitive shooting, but like usually there's like an outside source of you know, cash flow. I don't think you can eat and pay your mortgage on shooting guns really good alone.
Gotcha.
Even if you're like the Conor McGregor of shooting guns.
So you're telling me there is no yacht?
There's no yacht, dude. There's no bitches. There's no yacht.
Damn.
There's no light at the end
What?
of the tunnel. Besides just being like a middle-aged, overweight dude that shoots really fucking good.
What about endorsements?
Whoa.
What about endorsements, man?
You're saying no bitches?
No
That's what I
bitches,
said,
dude. You
no
already have
bitches.
to have a bitch, dude. There's no tits like in a NASCAR. Like nobody's giving you a Ricky Bobby flash.
I'm
What
about to
about,
say
like,
it's
the
not like
gun bunny?
Talladega Nights. You
What
read
about,
my mind, man.
What about like the gun bunnies? You know, there's no like gun bunnies out
They
there.
don't like you. They don't like guns either.
You telling me he don't get pussy?
Bro, that's why he became a
think it's
killer.
all the
He had to
pussy.
protect that pussy at all costs.
All the pussy.
You ain't taking it away, goddamn it.
Yo,
I think it's all
man,
the pussy.
funny,
What are you
man.
talking about, man?
Well,
So,
he
did
is a
anyone-
comedian.
Did
I didn't know
anyone
that.
check this guy's sources, man? Like, what, is he putting out reliable shit here? I think we need to fact check
Hold
this,
on.
all right?
Did he say that and I missed it, that he's a comedian?
Oh, I guess I didn't tell you that. Yeah, he's a comedian too.
Nice.
Well, you're
Yeah, I
being
do
real
stand
funny.
up.
You're
I do
being
a
real
lot of
funny.
stuff. I do a lot of weird shit, man.
Mm.
You kind of have your hand in a little bit of everything.
Yeah, I do stand up. I do
You trade
amateur
stocks, too?
racing. And I do this LARPing shit and video editing and cinematography.
Apparently, except getting bitches.
So do you do that for fun for Gorilla? Just the
Gorilla
video
guy?
editing?
No, that's my project. I'm
Oh.
like the entire back. I don't want to take away from the dudes because like they do stuff too, but like I started that project essentially with like the help of the dudes. Like that's kind of my baby right now.
Gotcha.
Mm.
And then it's looking good.
Well, it's after coming off a band. It was a pretty heavy band, so I figured I'd take more of a backseat production role and like, you know, narrate videos when I have to. I hate my fucking voice, but you know, the dude's got other shit going on. I have a pretty light workload. I'm fortunate enough to have like an old man's job as a young man, so
Nice.
you know.
Yo, I'm still shocked about the no bitches, man.
Rob can't believe it. He's like, God dang it.
Dude, it doesn't matter how John Wick you get. Nobody cares. Everybody's like sweet. That's weird.
Like even the competitive eating people get bitches, man.
Dude, there's none. There's literally like, and it's like prison sex. The bitches you see in 3 Gun you don't want, you know, or get sick. Like they're usually very. I don't mean to disparage them.
Hang on.
Are they shaped like a 2-liter?
Hang on.
No, there's like really hot, like super athletic chicks, but they're like married and stuff, and they're like, you know, they're trad wife, blah blah blah. But like,
but listen, it doesn't matter if they're married. It matters if they're happy.
Hang on. You're really like playing down what kind of bitches Rob will go for. Okay. When you say it's not the type you want, that's to him that's a challenge. Okay.
well, usually their husbands are pretty good at shooting too.
So what you're saying is instead of shooting for
bring a plate carrier.
Yeah, exactly.
so instead of shooting for a gun, you shoot for the woman, right?
I'm like borderline autistic. I'm pretty chauvinistic. I pretty much just like disregard women and stuff like that. My daily life.
My man, fuck them bitches.
I mean, like I have a girlfriend and stuff that I've had for a long time. Like I don't like interacting with females other than just like pleasantries, like really quickly. Like there's nothing good in it for me.
There's nothing good in it for anybody.
Exactly.
It's not just you, bro. You find one, you marry or you wife up or something, and just stay with that one, dude. Because the rest are just fucking trash.
Damn, Dimitri.
Hey, so I don't know if anyone saw. We got
Dimitri sound like he's in that idea of turning a hoe into a housewife.
Hey, I don't know if anyone saw.
How the fuck did you get that out of what I just said?
You find one and then you just
No, you find a good one, motherfucker. I just say just grab the 2-liter.
I'm sorry, dude.
Hey, I don't know if anyone saw.
Hey, what if that 2-liter got a heart of gold?
I don't know, man.
Austin's trying to say something.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry, Austin.
I don't know if anyone saw. We got a question. What's the largest cash prize for pistol shooting?
Oh, he already said it. Like maybe 10 grand or something like that.
Well,
that's for like 3 Gun Nationals, basically the Dallas 3 Gun. For IPSC, probably considerably a lot less. Pretty much like if it's a regional shoot, you'd be lucky to win a gun in a holster. Would be cool, and like maybe $500 if that.
Damn, that's a womp, man.
That would be like a pretty dope prize. To win like a regional in like IPSC would be like a gun, a holster, and $500. It would be dope as shit.
Mm-hmm.
But that's gas in a hotel if you're driving to like.
I was about to say it costs more than.
Yeah, and not even including ammo and all that stuff. Like you never will get your money back out of it. You'll just stop spending so much money when you get like more and more sponsors.
Unless you're a Grand Wizard.
Even then, you're still like, you know,
a Grand Dragon. What is it called, Josh?
I think it's the Grand Wizard, right?
Yeah, the Grand Wizard.
Is that right, Austin? Or is it the Grand Dragon?
The Grand Wizard. I am the Grand Wizard man, born leader of the.
Hey, YouTube doesn't like those. Office. That's right. We have to wait until January 20th before we get the all clear.
Yeah, but, white people can't be racist until then.
Dude, I heard a rumor that Elon was going to buy TikTok.
What?
There was a rumor going around that Elon was going to buy TikTok.
Oh, that would be so amazing.
I
There was
fucking
a-
hope
Dude,
he does, dude.
There was a rumor.
Dude, if
a while
TikTok was
back.
no holds barred like X right now, man, that would be fucking awesome.
There was
But
Except
it'd
the
have to be
porn.
that same algo, because like
Yeah.
as much as I hate TikTok, I love it too. I've met a lot of bros
Yeah.
on TikTok that are solid dudes that I really like, and it's wild. I've never just like met a bunch of like random dudes that are like homies now off of a social media app, which is
Until you
pretty
met
cool.
us.
There was
Yeah,
a rumor.
dude, you guys are great. Eric, Jody, the guys I work with, Jody, Tyler, Kai, Jacob. Shout out to all of them. They're great.
Are they on
They're fucking
TikTok?
excellent dudes. Then we have
Yeah,
a couple more that
Eric
are
was
like
on here, man.
rotators, but
Yeah, Eric was on here, Josh. Remember with
Yeah, I remember him, but he said Jody, some other people I'm not familiar with that were not on.
yeah, Jody Mowat, pull him up, dude. American on YouTube, he's American Pew. On he's TikTok is Jody Mowat, and that's
think
his
I
personal
followed-
page.
I think I follow the first one you said, American Pew. or
American
whatever.
Pew.
Yeah,
And-
that's on that's his YouTube handle. It might also be his TikTok handle.
American.pewtery.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jody Mo. I'll share the screen for y'all and I'll post it in the chat. Here's his TikTok handle.
Oh, I guess I don't. Are you on the 2A Brotherhood TikTok,
Yes.
Josh?
Yes.
Oh, gotcha.
So we'll give him a follow. And here is
Hold on, how you say his
American
name? Jody Moet or Moti?
Pew.
Yeah, Jody Mowat.
Moti.
Okay.
Or were you trying to say Mutit? It's
Who,
just
me?
at Jody Mowat is same thing on YouTube. American Pew. If you search for that, it'll just pop up. It's like a bunch of shorts. So I'll go ahead and send it to the chat for people.
Send it.
It's being sent.
It's being sent.
Dude, I'm full sending it.
Dude, if Elon buys TikTok and makes it a free for all,
Without
except
porno, right?
without porn, all right, but keeps that TikTok algorithm, dude, that would be freaking great because that algorithm is elite. And
yeah, there's nothing like it.
Exactly. So it could be used in a good way if you're not shadow banned. Like I told you, remember, like, hey, do you have any pictures of you without guns?
I don't really. That's wild though.
Yeah. And I told you as soon as I posted it and that video got a thing that's saying this video is not eligible for the For You page.
FYP.
Yeah.
Shit, the last time we went live on YouTube, we got banned. I mean, we
Yeah.
got taken down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But that was last weekend, right?
it's Tuesday.
That was Tuesday for the election.
Jenks, I'm playing.
Yeah, so
Then we should like, what happened?
You owe me a Coke.
Mm.
I'm gonna switch accounts and find out. But yeah, so I don't know how true this is or if this is like legitimate information. You never know when you get on Reddit, but
That's from all of the internet.
not necessarily.
Hey, if
sorry.
you would have believed buying AMC stock and GameStop
Yeah,
stock
right.
4 years ago, you'd be a millionaire right now.
If you want to hear the truth, we go on Instagram, right?
So there is this was 27 days ago, and there was he pledges he will remodel TikTok. Says after a long period of negotiations, the company owning TikTok decides to sell to Elon Musk for the sake of keeping the app from being taken off app stores in America.
No way.
They're between them.
Dude, I'm getting a chubby right now. No way, bro.
I got 2 inches of hard deep.
Exactly. It would be so great if I could get my fucking first 2 accounts back.
Dude,
the first
Elon
one had
Musk-
25,000. The second one had, I think it was like 9,000.
That was from when me and you went to the range that one time, right?
Yeah, but
first one?
yeah, and then I was making skits with
Yeah.
my wife. That's the
Oh, yeah.
only way to. But then
The
I got a
Florida
little
couple
too
one?
political. No.
You was
Not
a little
that
bit
one.
too willy nilly with your views.
They were like, whoa, this motherfucker's getting half a millions, hundreds of thousands. You got to slow this
Get the word
down.
out. Can't be speaking truths on here.
No, but the crazy part is after I got like banned, not banned, but it took a couple of my videos. Then it's just at random videos that didn't even have guns in it or anything like that would just start getting taken down.
You got
Or
banned
get-
from me, which we shouldn't have.
Yeah, we got banned because Rob was saying the N-word on TikTok Live. And it said for racist comments. And I was like, it was the black guy that said it. And they still don't give me my live back.
I wasn't black enough.
Yeah.
He's a little too light to be saying that word.
Whoa.
But yeah, man, I think we're in for some for quite a bit of changes on TikTok. I mean, you saw what he did when he acquired Twitter and he fired like 80% of the people there.
Yeah.
You know?
I think we're gonna we're gonna have a lot of changes in the U.S. also.
Yeah, dude. All right. So listen, Lee. I know you don't like political shit, but listen, Trump's not even in office yet. It's the 8th. Okay, it's been fucking 3 days. The UAE said we're buying American natural gas so they could avoid the tariffs that Trump is talking about putting on them. Bam. There's money coming in, right? Hamas said, whoa, hey, we're cool. we're just gonna back up.
We got a real white person in office.
Exactly.
No, but I'm like, honestly, I'm big on the team that Trump put together. He banned bump stocks. I believe that was an error, that if he could take it back, he would.
He said he would take it back.
He was listening
The
to the
big thing
wrong
I'm
people,
stoked
I
about
think.
is JD Vance. Like, JD Vance has already openly said that he wants to abolish the ATF.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can get what are actual common sense gun laws on the books. You know, like, why do you have to get a brace to circumvent some bullshit? You know what I mean? Like, like legit common sense, not like what the liberals or the leftists call common sense gun laws, but like, why are suppressors an NFA item? Like that, that goes past common sense, right? Like, you should just be able to buy those over the counter. It shouldn't matter
Supreme
how long
Court-
the barrel of your rifle is. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Those are.
I think maybe the only thing that probably should be a little bit regulated is full auto. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it should be outright banned, like the post
wouldn't say-
86, like to where I mean, you could still, if you're an 0702 manufacturer, you can still put together like an LE demo or a research and development piece that's post 86, but like, you should be able to buy full auto. Sure, I could give the concession that like those should have a $200 tax stamp on them, and they should be registered, just because like they are mass casualty producing weapon systems. It's just, it is what it is. If you have a guy with the 240 and he's sitting up on a spot, just like the tower guy, you know what I mean? It's If you guys were in the service, it's a crew serve. It's a mass casualty producing weapon system. I could give that concession up of it being like a federally registered device, along with like destructive devices like grenade launchers and shit. But like, they should be available to the public, like without a $20,000 price tag on them.
Yeah.
It's true, yeah.
But
and they put on. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Dimitri.
No, I'm saying like, so with the $20,000 price tag, it's like the common person can't afford it, but the rich people can. So what's the difference? And then
Well,
if Diddy gets a hold of that shit, he's gonna scratch out the freaking serial number on it and start waving it around at his parties.
Well, that's where like the liberals do have some right ideas, where it's like there is government, like kind of like class-based fucking like privilege, to where a rich person can own as many machine guns as they want because they can get past that barrier of price. A middle-class person could as well if that's what their hobby was. Like you couldn't be a car guy, a gamer guy, and a machine gun guy unless you made a lot of money, you know. Yeah. But like it keeps it out of the everyman's hand, which is, you know, bullshit. Just like the justice system also kind of placates the rich. I think almost everybody can agree on that. Whereas like, you know, you got a public defender and you're going to get fucked. So like, in the spirit of the Second Amendment is like, you have to kind of think about it for the everyman, not like, well, we didn't completely take away all machine guns. You can still buy one, but like, you can't if you like roof for a living and like, you know, you're barely making it paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
You know, you can buy a Palmetto State rifle, but like,
that's why they make high points.
Yeah, exactly. But like, they've always tried to limit access to firearms to poors. It's kind of like
to poors, to the poors.
Well, that was like in '68. The Gun Control Act of '68. A big part of it was like banning like non-sporting purpose handguns from Europe that were cheap, like Saturday night specials and stuff. Like. So it basically took access to like personal protection. There were no high points. Those were the high points back then that like, you know, a single mom that works a low paying job could afford like to save up for and buy.
Then they started making them in the US after that.
Yeah, basically like high points, Ravens, Bricos, Jennings.
I think Jimenez too, right?
Yeah, Jimenez. Yeah, it was the Ring of Fire. Basically, it was like a gun company in California that switched to owners' hands, but still made the same guns for like 30 years. But they got sued constantly because also criminals tend to use small handguns, small inexpensive handguns as well.
Yeah, garbage.
But I mean, just because like criminals use Nissan Altimas as getaway cars doesn't mean they should ban Nissan Altimas. Or like Kias, you know.
Most of them got Trackhawks nowadays and Demons.
Hell yeah, dude, I wish.
You gotta pay to play.
Yeah. Speaking of which, so they have the that thing is still going around where they the Kia boys are still, you know, breaking into cars and stealing them with their USB. With the USB cables.
Have you ever expected a criminal to do the right thing?
No. Why would they? So
because they got less consequences than a law-abiding citizen.
So answer me this: why would a law that prevents a criminal from doing something make it any better for the public?
Ask the ones that be flashing switches on YouTube and Instagram and everything else. You know, that 10-year sentence that they say ain't stopping them, is it?
No, and they handful of them usually just get they get thrown back out to the streets. The justice system really doesn't do much with them, and then they're on their merit.
They're trying to blame it on Glock, like they're selling them or something. Like
did you see Kamala? She was like, "Yeah, I own a Glock." Did you see that video?
Yeah,
it was a while back.
Bitch.
Dude, somebody commented and said she probably goes to the gun store and asks for Glock bullets. Can I buy some Glock bullets, please?
Yeah, that shit was real convincing, wasn't it?
You know she don't own a Glock. She don't own a Glock.
Why do she? She has 24-hour protection, but we don't, right?
Yeah.
Secret Service protection.
But we're wrong because we want to protect ourselves and our family and our loved
They're
ones.
the elites.
They're so good at man. I'm always going to remember that video of those agents that they assigned to President Trump at the Butler rally who could not holster their pistols.
A bunch of fucking women.
They don't want armed guards in the, like you say, the poor school, but I bet their kids have armed guards at their school. Huh?
Yeah, there's Secret Service with them.
Yeah.
Don't they they have private security there, don't they?
Yeah, the school
They don't even
That's
bother
why
with
security out their ass.
they don't bother with the police department.
But God forbid, regular kids.
Well, listen,
have shit
those
like that.
those school resource officers aren't worth a dang. Because I was watching a video today. It was some high school. It was two rival gangs, and they ended up getting in a fist fight in the hallway. They're beating the snot out of each other, and here comes the resource officer, and she's like, "Stop, stop, stop!" The kid turns around and just hit her in the mouth, and she fell, and her gun fell out.
That took you to realize that shit when you seen our resource officer get laid the fuck out.
Where was this?
I have no idea, dude. If you look up like rival gangs fight, resource officer gets knocked out.
Is Homeboy still on?
I think so. Lee, you still there? You might have lost them.
School. It's all good. So here we go. Are they outside?
No, they were in the hallway.
Hey, sorry, dudes. I had to piss and fucking grab a brew.
I got you.
You're just a man.
A school resource. It's all caught on video. Check it out. It happened at
Is this it?
No, but let's watch it.
Okay.
It looked like
a school resource as the office administrator and the officer try to stop two students from punching each other. As the officer pulls the students apart, a third student jumps in and starts attacking others. At one point, a student is seen hitting the officer's back as more and more people started pushing and shoving. Then the officer removes his stun gun and shoots it. A student and a teacher were hit with that stun gun, but both are okay. 4 teenagers were arrested.
Look at that fat fuck.
A student and a teacher were hit with that stun gun, but both are okay. 4 teenagers were arrested. Well, as Louise.
Like, how do you have a job as a police officer and you're not as fit as possible? That's what I don't
That dude
understand.
was like a former state champ pulling guard. I guarantee it. Like, that dude was built like a truck.
Yeah.
You know, it was like number 68, 72.
Yeah, but still, dude, like when you take that kind of job, like why would you let yourself get to that point? Because there is a lot of fat officers.
But he
And
probably
it's like-
at the end of his
There's
career.
a lot of fat people in the States. And like right now, I'm a little excited. I let myself go for a little bit. It's fun to like
Yeah.
drink
I've
beers
been letting
and
myself
crash
go
on
my
the
whole
couch.
life, man.
Yeah, Rob's our chubby friend, and Austin too. They're double XL hoodies.
I make it look good though.
I like how you said hoodies.
Yeah, I've let myself go too. I haven't had a chance to freaking work out since the damn summer. Excuses.
I've been back on the wagon, but it just like I like to take breaks, dude. I like to let myself go and just like kind of pour myself into other things and like, you know, working out for a couple hours a day. Especially during the
How tall are
summer,
you?
like I'd rather just drink beers and like, you know, get the yard work done. Like just drink like 20
Yeah.
beers and get the yard work.
How tall are
20
you?
beers, god dang.
That's a good day right there.
Dude, I'll crash like way too. That's the problem. Like, I'll get drunk and I'll eat big, but like,
Get drunk.
I will fucking drink like 10, 15, 20 beers in a day sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, it's not good for you, but it's just like something I've been doing since I was a kid for some reason.
Yeah, it is.
Just, as long as you don't get like puke drunk or anything like that, you get like a
Oh, that
certain
happened.
level of like drunk and you just maintain it. Like and cruise
Pretty
through
hard.
the day. It's pretty rad on the weekends.
So you do
Yeah.
day drinking?
Oh yeah, during the weekends, like not right now. Like I'm you know, I'm having a couple brewskis and stuff. Like I can control myself, but like, dude, I like having a few beers every day, like 4 or 5 or 6.
Mm-hmm.
It's rad. Like after work, like you just crank Tall Boys and like stream or something, or like edit videos, and you're like, fuck it.
See, with me, I like to have a 12-pack. You know, I can't just have
12-pack of 40s.
A 12-pack of 40s of that malt liquor.
Mhm. I am half black.
I used to drink these. Remember those Natty Daddies?
Mm-hmm.
You remember those, man?
Hold on, I'll be
And
right
then
back.
Bud Light Platinum came out. Remember?
Oh God. Oh God.
It was
I
the
kill
Plat.
penguins, dude.
The what?
Coors, just like regular Coors.
Yeah. Cold as the Rockies.
Yup.
We have this really cheap beer down here. It's just called Lone Star because, you know.
Dude, I love Lone Star. You're down in Texas?
Yeah.
Dude, Lone Star and Shinerbach is the heat. It's more expensive,
Dude.
but like, I miss Shinerbach.
It took them a good while, but about 2 years ago, they finally started selling Yingling down here.
Yinlings are dope too from PA.
It took a
Yeah.
good while.
I tried,
Yeah.
like, I think we were at a Roadhouse or something. I drank like 4 of those tall bitches, dude. They were good.
For real, man.
But yeah, I'll drink silly when I'm like drinking beer. It doesn't get me like fucked up.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to be like a mess or anything, but like, fuck, dude, I love drinking beers.
Yep.
As long as you can control yourself, man. I had
Yeah.
to stop drinking because I couldn't control myself. So
Yeah, I know a lot of guys like that. Like the problem with me is like I'll start getting chubby and I'm like, all right, dude, you gotta fucking knock this shit off, dude. Like it's getting wild. You're getting a little extravagant with it.
all right, I'm drinking bourbon.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
I just go on the wagon, try to take like a couple weeks off drinking, and then I'll like, you know, go out with the boys and I'll get shit housed like one night a month. But I probably like it more than I should, you know?
It's fun, dude. Like my biggest thing is when I had kids, and I remember I just had one, and I think me and my wife went out and we didn't even have that much to drink. I had like maybe 3 bourbons that night. Dude, I woke up the next day, I felt like shit, and my son wanted to play with me. And now I'm hungover, and my son's trying to play with me. He's trying to get me to throw him in the air and all this stuff. I was like, yep, I'm never doing this again.
Yeah, liquor fucks me up. I haven't drank liquor in probably like 10 years.
That's all I used to drink. I hate beer.
Oh, shit,
That-
man. I was
Knob
down
Creek,
like
man.
that, too.
Dude, the knob.
The Knob Creek, man. That got me through a lot of dark times.
I was a wild turkey guy.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
The 101.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh, dude, that shit's super good.
It is. That's the problem. Did you ever have?
It's like, it's really good.
Yeah, that's that. There was this one. I forgot the name of it. It was like 120 proof, except I went down like it was so smooth. It was like it tasted like 80 proof.
The Knob Creek or the
No, I think it was
Russell.
like Booker's or something like that. I forgot. My brother-in-law put me on it. On my
Was it Woodford. Oh, never
no,
mind.
Woodford's
Woodford's
good too.
yeah.
Yeah. I forgot that it was like Booker's or some shit like that. I don't know. But it was 120 proof and it was so goddamn smooth, man. You drink this and you're like, oh man, this is great. Next thing, my brother-in-law was like, hey, take it easy on those. I was like, hey man, this stuff is great. I had 3 of them. I was like, who's driving?
Yeah, man. So good.
Dang, now I want to know the name of that bourbon. Is it Booker's?
Yeah, I remember when we did our. It was like the first time we all got together to do a podcast up at your place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you cracked open the whiskey, man. It was and cigars. It was so nice, and a bonfire.
Yep. We should do that annually, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Get up here and I'll set up a big because I'm gonna have a big ass fire pit now after this tree gets taken down. I'm gonna have a big ass fire pit and we could have a podcast around the fire every year in September, bro.
You want to do that tomorrow?
What?
The tree.
Oh, here it is. It is Booker's. Straight bourbon. Yeah.
Are you able to share your screen?
Yeah, I'm gonna do it right now. This shit is so good. Bam.
I remember when Rob bought the Russell's Reserve.
This stuff right here, bro.
That stuff was next level.
It's 100 and so it's different per bottle depending on the batch, but it usually sits at like 120 proof. And
Didn't you say you had like a glass of like $50 whiskey or something?
Yeah, I had Pappy Van before. Yeah, it's 124.5 proof. And it's aged 7 years. It's nice. So freaking smooth, dude.
And it's single, yeah, it's not blended.
Yeah. It's so good, dude.
You still mess around with the Maker's Mark, Rob?
Of course. Well, yeah, but I stopped binge drinking, so I'm drinking this champagne, and that's only because of the presidential thing. But I haven't drunk that in a while.
Nice. Good, man. Or the Four Roses.
I haven't had that in a while either.
Yeah.
I had barrel whiskey, and that's pretty good. I can grab the bottle real quick if you want to see it.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
I'll be right back.
Dimitri, I can't find this video of the guy getting knocked out, but
if we can find it later. Instagram. Yeah, if I see it again, I'll send it to the group chat and we can play it next week.
Yeah, man. So I saw this.
Yeah, but so the kid that punched the resource officer in the face, he probably weighed like 125 pounds. Like he was a scrawny kid and punched this grown woman in the face and laid her out and her gun fell out.
This is wild. Yeah, I got this video here. I'm gonna try and pull it up. It's about some new information that had come from the Diddy case.
Oh God!
And it has to do with Michael Jackson and like some other stuff, man.
I heard there was like videos of Leonardo DiCaprio that are gonna be leaked.
So that is also in the in this video. Here it is.
You see it, Josh?
And y'all can just tell me what you think. Yeah. Dovetail.
Yeah. And this was mad good too.
Diddy's got a better dead man switch than Epstein.
Nice. 27
he does.
Mm-hmm. This is mad good.
Oh yeah, you sent this to the group chat.
Happened since Diddy has been in jail. Leonardo DiCaprio left the country since his photos were leaked from Diddy's private parties. The case of Michael Jackson's death was reopened because the head of security said Diddy ordered him not to tell anyone when Michael was dead. Beyonce lost 5 million followers and is about to be investigated, just like the Kardashians, who could also fall. Netflix is already working on the series about P. Diddy. The judge did not accept the $50 million proposed by Diddy's lawyer to set him free. And now he's in isolation. And this is just the beginning.
Dude, I don't know if this is true or not, but there was like rumors floating around that Beyonce and Jay-Z were having other artists killed. And apparently they're responsible for Aaliyah's death.
I have no idea, man.
That's probably
I've
hearsay.
heard the Aaliyah's death conspiracy is like someone from a block number called her and is like, hey, your husband's dying in the hospital right now. You got to come see him. And then her plane crashed. And her husband was never in the hospital.
But I thought she was with Dame Dash.
Yeah, they said he was like in the hospital, like dying. And like, he wasn't. He was just like in his apartment. And like her plane crashed on the way there. I don't know how real that is. That's just shit I've heard. You know, like Richard Gere shoved a gerbil up his ass, or like Rod Stewart drank a gallon of cum.
Maybe the Rod Stewart one.
Hold up, was the Richard Gere thing real? Because I heard that too.
No, that was just like before the internet. That's what like viral memes were. Is you just like talk crazy shit about people. Like Lucas Bockins got molested, and the LDS gave him like church money is like a hush money thing, and that's how he started T-Rex Arms. Because they just like passed him around, like his uncle and other like LDS elders just passed him around, and like
how many years of people saying that shit about Diddy?
Like forever, like 50's been saying it since like ever since.
Yeah.
Like that dude's always been like up his ass with shit, like just like this motherfucker.
He's been hip to it the whole time. He's known.
Yeah, well, he said that he came up and he's like, I'll take you shopping. And he's like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? Like, no, dude, I'm not going to hang out with you. You sound weird as shit.
Like, he's like, let me go shopping
like
with you.
Pretty normal. And like, just some weird, like, sleazy guy comes up and he's like, yo, I'll take you shopping. Let's go party. And he's like, fuck no, dude.
I don't know. Money talks. He knocked off Carl Winslow. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, he got the wrong dude who's 50 though. 50's seems like he's got a good head on his shoulders. He's like, I'm not gonna suck anybody's penis for $50,000. Like that's wild.
Hey fellas, I gotta go. All right, you guys have a good rest of the show.
All right, you too.
Thank you.
You hear what Austin asked you, Dimitri?
No.
I said, did you want to do that tree tomorrow?
Let me get back to you. All right.
All right, man. Good night, man.
All right, good night, bro.
Right.
Rod Stewart.
Lee, thank you for coming on, man. Appreciate you.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
Rod, what was that thing you said? Rod Stewart did what?
Drank a gallon of cum and they had to pump his stomach.
They said the same thing about Lil Kim. Are they hanging together?
I think it was just a recycled, like.
Would you believe it if they said Drake had that done?
Was it was the Marilyn Manson thing with the rib being removed true too?
No, that was another one. I don't think he's ever had. He's a pretty normal guy. Like in his, if you ever see like his actual like outside of his artistry, like if you see the actual person that is him, he's like just kind of a regular guy. Like, you know, like he has his artist persona, which is like over the top, but his regular like personal life, he's just like a dude named David or some shit.
Yeah.
You think Rob Zombie is normal?
Yeah, Rob Zombie's like if you ever watched the MTV Cribs episode with Rob Zombie, he lives in like it's a bigger, older house, but it would be like a mansion in the 60s, but nowadays for like a star of his size, like it's an undersized house by a lot. And he like has hot rods in his garage and like a movie theater. He seems like a really normal guy.
I think his wife is kind of smoking, even though she's skinny.
Oh hell yeah, dude! Sharon Moon, she's she's smoke show for sure.
I'm not really into skinny girls. I like them thick, but yeah, her and Gwen Stefani. I don't know what it is about Gwen Stefani.
Hell yeah, dude! You like them old too, huh?
Hey. Like when I think of Gwen Stefani, that's her back in the day. When I'm just a girl. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude.
I have the picture or the that episode of MTV Cribs.
And this is my house, so come on inside. I'll show you some weird stuff. Well, in the entryway we have our armor, because every house needs a suit of armor. Every TV show I've ever seen.
A medieval suit of armor. Hey, look at that.
The jackalope go to waste. Here's the living room, which I don't know why it's the living room because there's a lot of dead stuff in here.
The quick cuts, man. The quick cuts.
That's where it's at, Josh. The quick cuts is where that.
Yeah, man. The good editing, man. It's so funny. And now it's like pre-made cap cut transitions and stuff like that. It's so funny.
The good editing in that Kamala Harris.
I mean, it looks good though. It actually looks. What do you say? Kamala Harris? What?
In that Kamala Harris interview for what is it?
The Breakfast Club?
No, not that. I can't remember what. It's the one that Trump is suing.
CNN.
The View.
Oh.
No, not The View, but it's like a news company. I think it's CNN. I don't know how true it is, but they say Trump is suing a news company for that Kamala interview.
Oh, the Kamala interview. Oh, I know what you're talking about. I can't remember.
He's suing them for that.
Is it NBC because of the Saturday Night Live thing?
No, it was actual.
No, they edited an interview. They like put in one of her questions. It was like a different answer to a question.
I don't know. They said that he's suing them for $10 billion. Like, damn, if that's true, damn.
Is it like a defamation lawsuit or something? Oh, CBS for $10 billion. There it is.
Billion, right? Not million. Billion,
Yeah,
right?
$10 billion. Yeah. Dude, that's insane. Yeah. Here's the.
To get his name removed from the ballot in Wisconsin and Michigan, both key swing states in the race for the White House. This week, the Supreme Court denied his emergency request based in part on the state's arguments that thousands of votes had already been cast on absentee ballots abound in the Commonwealth that could be the electoral ballgame. Pennsylvania. The Republican National Committee is trying to block a rule that would allow people to fill out a provisional ballot on Election Day to cure a faulty mail-in ballot. Amendments. Musk has endorsed Trump.
So many people. Oh man, they didn't even bother asking for voter ID. Some places
I didn't get asked.
They weren't even asking for regular ID.
I didn't get asked for voter ID or regular ID. I didn't pull an ID out of my. I didn't pull an ID out of my wallet at all when I went to vote. I had it in my hand. She's like, "You don't need that."
They just asked for my name and where I live.
Yeah.
And nothing else.
Yeah, I didn't get asked for anything except for my name and address. And then she said my birthday. I just said like the first part of my address. She finished it off and said my birthday and was like, "Is that correct?" So yeah.
Dang. And so I went on Halloween and it was pretty empty, and I heard people were having issues. I guess similar to the ones they had last time, where they were trying to press a certain candidate, but it wouldn't check the box.
That's why I did paper ballot.
Yeah, I did paper too.
Yeah, that's why I did a paper ballot. I didn't want to mess with that. I did paper ballot and scanned it in.
Mm-hmm. Did you vote, Lee?
Nope.
Okay. Can respect it.
I mean, like I said earlier, I like politics and stuff, and like, you know, the ideas, but I'm pretty sure any of my ideas, like if they came to fruition, would turn to shit instantly. So I kind of stick out of that game.
Yeah.
I feel you.
I'm an idiot hillbilly. Like at the end of the day, like I might be like autistically knowledgeable about like some weird shit that nobody else is really into, but I don't think I could fix anything, and I think my vote would probably be toward the wrong direction.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, it's kind of a waste out here in Oregon. Like, there's the population density is like super sparse outside of the big towns of Portland and Eugene and Salem, and like Salem's conservative, but Portland and Eugene are like the only two like what we call big cities, but they're not. They're like, not even the size of like Tulsa, Oklahoma, or something like that.
Plus Oregon's kind of the same way as like Maryland. It's a blue state through and through. If you're a conservative voting in a blue state, it really doesn't matter regardless.
Most of the state's red. Like if you look at the map, like all of Eastern Oregon, and then like the county I live in is red, and like.
But the part that matters is blue.
Yeah, the three big cities outweigh everybody else by like a pretty significant margin. So even if everybody in the country votes and people in the city like vote at their normal rate, it just like completely outweighs any decision we make.
Well, that's how it is for most parts of most states. Is the cities are majority, blue. Like it's the same thing with if you even look at like a map in Texas.
Yeah, the maps by county.
Yeah. If you go to like San Antonio, Houston, Dallas, Austin, a lot of them are very popular blue cities. It's how much outweighs it. Pennsylvania was a red state this year, but if you look at it, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, see San Antonio, it looks like you're going down to like Corpus Christi.
Dallas,
Austin, Houston,
El Paso.
Yep, all the cities are blue.
Yeah, or like even Virginia, or like the other, like it's just a couple.
Yeah. So Virginia, you got like parts of Nova, Northern Virginia. You got your Norfolk, Richmond, Roanoke. It's all blue. So a lot of like the outer parts, and Virginia is kind of like the same, to where when you start getting out of like the cities, you start getting really less populated, more dense mountain area. It's not as heavily populated, and they're not going to make up for the amount of people in the cities.
Yeah, same here in Oregon. Like you can see right there. It's just like it's literally Portland and Eugene, and then for Washington, it's a little bit more because Seattle's quite a large area all the way up to Bremerton.
Mm-hmm.
They have a higher population than us too, but the rest of the state is literally red, minus like the Seattle, Bremerton area, like the Puget Sound area.
I mean, even California.
Like, if you meet anybody from anywhere else in the state, they're like a normal person.
Yeah.
But you start going into those towns and you get like insanely like
I mean, even pull up California. Like, look, if you pull up California
California's like that.
Surprisingly amount of red, and it's just that West Coast, area is blue, and especially when you get into like LA, San Diego, San Francisco, Sacramento, but a lot of the state is red, but the more heavily populated areas are blue.
Yeah, it's true, man. Dude, so expensive to live there, man.
Do they finally count Arizona and Nevada?
So, according to this, Nevada was called, but Arizona is not.
Yeah.
82% reporting.
And is the House had a majority yet?
Yes.
Well, is it?
No, never mind.
It's like narrow, close, and there's just the one county in Washington that's red. Arizona that's red. Yeah, so they'll get majority maybe.
Yeah.
Alaska.
Yeah, it looks like also Alaska, Arizona, and then that red part of California.
Maine.
There also looks like some up in Washington. Yeah. So.
Yeah,
how
it'll
many
be done.
seats? How many
Easy
seats are
year.
remaining?
Yeah. Hopefully, we'll actually see some common sense gun laws.
Yeah.
Especially because I think Trump's going to get the chance to appoint some new Supreme Court justices. So,
See what happens.
yeah, I
Hopefully
think
the ATF will be abolished.
Yeah,
if
that's
that's
what,
the
dude.
case,
I'm hoping that, and I'm hoping the NFA gets repealed. Like,
hell yeah.
if
Like,
the
that's the-
ATF gets abolished, man, the first thing I'm doing is I'm buying up a bunch of 80% ARs if they become legal again.
If that get abolished, you should.
well, if the ATF gets abolished, you
set
could
the
just
price
like
a little
buy,
higher.
yeah, whatever you want, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But that's the first thing I'm doing is I'm buying up a bunch of 80% ARs in case they get banned again. You know,
I'm
same with
sure
the
like
P80s.
yeah. Well, the 80s that was kind of a give and take bill. A lot of people kind of don't get the background of that one. The 86 I can't remember if it was the 1986 Gun Control Act, but it was basically no more could you make like transferable machine guns post May 86, but in exchange for that, you're now able to order firearm parts and ammunition through the mail, where
Yeah.
that was basically banned from 1968 to 1986
Yeah.
with the 1968 Gun Control Act.
Yeah. No, I get it. It still sucks that, you know, it's as a right to bear arms, it's illegal. And, you know, I'm really pro being able to do, you know, gun stuff or what you want. And obviously I can't because it's illegal.
Yeah, you should just be able to build like a short barreled like AR-15 that's full auto or like 9mm.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
Or
sure,
just
registered
like an AR
producers,
pistol,
belt
you know.
feds.
Yeah. Or just like an AR pistol or like a 300 blackout, you know.
Yeah, you should be able to do like without a tax stamp or anything, just over the counter, buy a 10.5-inch 300 blackout with a stock and everything. No loophole, no silly
Yeah.
stuff. Like, just get it how it should be without like going through a bunch of fuss.
Yeah, exactly. You know. But I'm a law-abiding citizen, so I have to go through the process.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, I do too. Like I everything we do is up and up. All the machine guns that we shoot are usually rented. We don't own them. We're lucky enough to have a couple buddies that own gun shops that have like class 3, you know, demo license, you know, like a 0702 kind of situation. So they come out and they supervise us with their company guns. Like it's like a legit like rental thing that they do.
I've heard of certain people getting like FFLs and everything, like getting the license and then just having all their firearms through the business.
That's
Like,
expressly illegal. When you get
Really?
your firearms license, like your FFL,
Yeah.
You can't do it for your own personal gain, essentially. In the monetary sense, yes, but like you can't do it for like to extend your collection unless it's like a curio and relics license.
Yeah, unless you're like also selling them, like you.
Yeah, you could like. There's nothing wrong with that. Like if you're successful and you're selling, like let's say you get your FFL and you're selling a bunch of guns. If you're like, hey, I'm gonna order myself this gun, and like you do that, that's fine. But if that's all you're doing, they're gonna catch on to that and they're gonna like revoke your license and probably fine you.
Yeah, you got to actually sell some stuff.
Yeah, you can't just use it like as a means to like, you know, streamline the process of getting guns to your door by the mail.
Yeah.
Unless it's a curio and relic license, but like you can't get an 0702 to where you can like manufacture machine guns for like the fact that, oh, well, I got a law enforcement letter and I have like a newly manufactured machine gun. But in reality, it's just to like extend your own personal collection past what you could normally get. Like you're just basically like making machine guns to like only benefit yourself. like as a collector. Essentially, there's like a lot of weird random bullshit with a lot of stuff. Like ITARs is another thing you have to deal with, and that's wild.
Yeah. No, I would really like to own like an FFO one, or like have like a business one day. Like that'd be like kind of like the goal, you know, just having that and having a storefront, or even if it becomes easy, just, you know, like some type of setup to be able to run that. I don't know what the process
so
would be.
I've looked at that a lot, man. And the best way is usually doing like an online shop. And if you have like a garage or somewhere safe, because like the ATF will inspect wherever you house them.
Mm-hmm.
And if you rent like a place that's overhead, that's like a good chunk of overhead, versus like if you use your own house, you also get a tax break because you're using your house as a, you know, work thing.
Yeah, I know a couple people that do that actually.
Yeah, but
it's like they turn their garage into like a store.
Yeah, and the only problem with that is the ATF can inspect you at any time. Like they could just knock on your door at 3 a.m. to do a walkthrough. Technically,
Mm-hmm.
they don't normally do that. They normally have pretty decent relations, but like, you know, they're still shitbags and they can do what they want and they can fuck you over whenever they please.
Yeah, even though they never were meant to have as much power as they have.
Yeah, they're basically a subsidiary of the IRS.
Yeah, they were meant to handle the taxes of alcohol, tobacco, and firearms.
Yeah.
They weren't supposed to be a law enforcement agency, but they kind of made themselves a law enforcement agency. I mean, the IRS was trying to do that. Like they were getting IRS enforcement agents. Remember that? Like how many was that? Like 2-3 years ago?
Yeah, they have a ton.
Yeah.
Yeah, they started that whole program where they were getting IRS enforcement agents, and the same thing as the ATF. They were turning themselves into a law enforcement agency, and it's like that's not your job. Stay in your lane.
I think they argue it because there's like a lot of like the Secret Service does like counterfeit currency, and the Department of State also does like mail fraud. So like Department of State special agents, like they always have these weird like enforcement branches from like the 1800s. So I think that was like their justification. But yeah, it's bullshit. Obviously, having tax police.
Yeah,
it's dystopian as fuck. Like tax police is the wildest thing ever.
Yeah, I mean technically, if you want to like get rid of the ATF. For gun crimes, like actual crimes, FBI handles that. You know, alcohol and tobacco, DEA. You know, like we have other law enforcement agencies. It doesn't need
it's
to be
completely redundant. Like the NSA and the CIA and the Department of Homeland Security.
Yeah, all their.
I know the CIA is not supposed to operate here, but everybody knows they do.
Yeah, all their jobs are basically fucking. They're all replaceable. They're all replaceable. They all like none of them actually need to exist.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. But then like that's what I mean by like all my good ideas. Like if we did that, it would be like, you know what I mean? With my luck, like Buddy was saying in the intro, it'd be raining pussy. I get hit with a dick. Like you do that, it's like hate crime surges.
Yeah.
You know what? That's perfect. That's a perfect way to end this podcast, going full circle from the quote of the day, and then ending it with the same quote. So, hey, look, Lee, thank you so much for taking the time to come and chat with us, man. We really appreciate this.
Please
if
join
you guys
us again.
Are interested, if you want to Punished Trash Fire Actual, again, the link's in the chat. I'll put it in the description. And if you're interested in the group, the Gorillas Guide, also on TikTok, you can find that. And American Pew, you can find that on YouTube and TikTok also. Anything else, guys? Lee, any final remarks?
Just also Tactical Tyler. He's another one of the bros that we do this with. Gorillas Guide is on YouTube. thanks a lot for having me, guys. I appreciate it. Anytime you guys want to have me on again, or you guys are more than welcome also if you ever find yourself on the West Coast to come out and LARP with us.
Hell yeah, brother.
Yeah, man. That sounds mad fun, man.
Yeah.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
No, basically, nice.
Jinx.
All right. Well, I still got your email. We'll link up with you. But yeah, thanks again. And Rob, you can say your piece if you want.
Thank you for joining us. And I know time is precious, and I appreciate you spending it with us. And leave a comment. Don't be an asshole. Be nice to people, unless they're not nice to you. Good night.
Good night. God bless. Thanks again, Lee.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Once you get into that, you start getting into a situation, the slippery slope, where all of a sudden you're going to really violate the Second Amendment. I don't want to do anything to violate the Second Amendment. To me, the Second Amendment is very important. I love this country. Thank you. Thank you very much.